Hey guys, what's going on? So in today's video, I'm going to be comparing the new Galaxy S3 by Samsung and Apple's iPhone 4S. Now, before I start this, I just want to let you guys know that I am basically looking at this from a hardware perspective, not necessarily the user experience, the interfaces. I will be talking a tiny bit about software, but mainly I will be talking about the actual phone and not what's inside. Alright, so first is design. Now, the Galaxy S beats out the iPhone 4S here. It has a 0.34 inches bezel compared to the iPhone's 0.37 inches, so just a little bit slimmer on the Galaxy S3. And also, the Galaxy S weighs 4.7 ounces as opposed to the iPhone's 4.9 ounces. Now, which one looks better to you is up to you, of course. I personally like just the simplicity of the iPhone, just the squared off, but you know, this is all your choice. Just letting you guys know that the Galaxy S3 is a little bit slimmer. Now, one of the biggest differences you'll immediately notice is that the iPhone 4S has a tiny screen compared to the Galaxy S3's. The Galaxy S3 has a 4-inch AMOLED display at 306 ppi, as opposed to the iPhone 4S that has a 3.5-inch display at 326 pixels per inch. Now, the AMOLED display is great for a lot of people. The colors are really nice, but the iPhone 4S also has a really good display, and I'd say I might even give the edge to the Galaxy S3 for having the larger screen. While it may have a slightly lower pixel density, the bigger screen and AMOLED technology does make it a little bit more easy to view. Now, the Galaxy S is quite the workhorse whenever it comes to its processor. It is running a quad-core 1.4 gigahertz processor, while the iPhone 4S is running a 800 megahertz dual-core A5 chip. Now, all those cores may not be utilized all the time. Having 4 cores is, well, it's better than 2. While we haven't had really many speed tests, we'll have to see which phone is actually faster. As far as connections and ports, the Galaxy S3 does a much better job. It has Wi-Fi, NFC, Bluetooth 4.0, 4G LTE, a micro USB port, as well as a micro SD card reader, which is kind of getting rare with Android phones. Now, the iPhone 4S has 3G, which is loads slower than 4G, let me tell you, a 30-pin connector, and Bluetooth 3.0. That's about it. So here, the Galaxy S just stomps the iPhone as far as connectability, ports, and cellular networks. As far as camera specs, and I'm not going to really go into quality here because that's kind of a little bit more up to opinion, and I'm not really an expert here. Both have an 8 megapixel 1080p camera on the back. However, on the front, the Galaxy S3 has a 1.9 megapixel camera, while the iPhone has a pretty shabby 0.3 megapixel camera. So the Galaxy S definitely takes the iPhone out in this. The front camera on the iPhone is not good, and if you want to do video conferencing, I'd personally go for the Galaxy S3. Alright, last but not least, the OS. Now, the iPhone 4S runs iOS, which right now is at 5.1.1, and the Galaxy S3 is currently running Android 4.0.4 with, and I know some of you might cringe at this, TouchWiz. Now, some of you might really like TouchWiz. Basically, if you don't know, it's an overlay by Samsung that goes onto Android 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich. Alright guys, so as far as hardware, really, the Galaxy S3 basically eats the iPhone 4S. While the iPhone 4S does have some decent specs, one thing to note is that the iPhone 4S is a little bit later in its product cycle. So, is this quite the fair comparison? No, not necessarily. And we're also just looking at hardware. So, definitely a thing to look at is software features. You know, how well will this fit into your life? But as far as hardware, this is what I looked at. The iPhone 4S does not quite compete with the Galaxy S3. Alright guys, this is pretty controversial subject, Android versus iPhone, and I would like you guys to know, I am actually running an iPhone 4S, and I'm fine with saying it, that the Galaxy S3 does have better hardware specs. Now, I don't have a whole lot of experience with Android 4.0, so I can't judge it there. iOS 5 works great and pretty fast and snappy on the A5 chip. Yeah, guys, the indecision is up to you. Don't let me make it for you. That's it for this video. If you liked it, leave a thumbs up and subscribe. Also, if you haven't done so already, follow me on Twitter and add me on the Google+. Anyway, that's it for this video. I will see you in the next one, and have a good day. Bye.